Hello, Nissan 240Z fans, or Fairlady Z fans, or Datsun 240Z fans. So many names. Anyways, I've had a bunch of videos on the Fairlady Z line, in particular the 240s, because they seem to be very popular in 164. What we're looking at here is one of those Aoshima branded cars. This is from one of their Grachan collections, and is their take of the 240ZG, where the ZG has the arrow covers on the headlamps. So obviously it's very modified. It's got these giant fender flares. They're supposed to be, I believe, done by Liberty Walk. But I just happened to pick up a stock street version, so I thought I'd compare the two and maybe show off some of the other 240Zs I have. So the one I have here is from Konami, I believe, just based on the packaging and my experience with the brand. Let me get the solar spinner out of the table because it's very loud. Okay, so seems to be new in package. It's obviously a messed up package, being old. It's a blister. Let's get that off there. I've talked about this car so much, but I still put up the Nissan Heritage site here just because. So it's got a 6-cylinder inline up front, and it's making around 150 horsepower, and it's running on 14-inch wheels. And pretty light car, you know, being back in 1972. It's 1,000 kilos, I think it says right there. Yeah, a little over 1,000. Okay. So here it says, yeah, even this is the Nissan website, so I'd assume this is correct, right? It's got a fiber reinforced plastic nose piece, and then the headlamp covers and some over fenders, just not as big as the other diecast we saw. The CD, coefficient of drag, is 0.39, which back then is among one of the best, top of the class. But 0.39 drag is very high drag these days. The average car is like 0.25 to 0.3. Even some SUVs are less than 0.39 nowadays. So to give an understanding, like the Tesla 3 I think is like 0.23, or it's in the low 2 range. And then your average cars are like 0.3. So it's quite interesting, you know, advancements in aerodynamics and panel gaps. That's actually a large one as well. Alright, so let's get a better light angle on this guy. So obviously it's a white colored model. And is it metallic? That's what I'm wondering right now. I do see some paint rash here. It's, I don't think it's metallic. I think it's just like a off-white color. So anyways, how old is this thing? It's from 2005. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's pretty old. I guess that might explain that little paint rash going on the roof there. Alright. The window seems to have some silver trim around them. There's some molded in wiper blades, but they're just clear plastic. There's no additional paint or anything. But they did put some additional black paint here, these fine ribs here, so that's pretty good. The casting lines are really tight, which is pretty good. Much, probably like two times tighter than Hot Wheels, maybe 3 times on certain Hot Wheels. Those are really tight gaps. Pretty impressive. So this is actually a pretty aerodynamic diecast model. Anyways, we got the headlamp covers. Obviously they look pretty good. They're molded in a way where it looks like there might be a light bulb back there, and they have silver paint around the edges, just like on the real car. It has some chrome trim. The Z logo looks alright. Unfortunately, more paint rash here. And then you got this weird looking black bumper piece here. This must be that FRP piece. Alright, so then we got some orange paint, I guess, for the turn signals. And there's a little vent here, a little bit of a recess. Thing is riveted together, so, oh, it's a tongue and groove. There must be a notch back here. Treaded tires. They look like they're actually pretty accurate. In fact, why don't you take a pause here and compare it to this rear photo so we get the tire width. Yeah, I would say they're actually relatively close in their width. They're not too skinny, but they're not too wide either. I would have actually expected a car from 1972 to have much skinnier tires, but I guess with 150 horsepower, that's what they should have. Okay, so let's see here, this side. So it says Fairlady, and then probably 240ZG. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Oh, it just says 240Z, no G. Okay. So you got the goofy looking hubcaps, are these? I don't know if these are cast wheels or hubcaps on a car this old. But they literally do stick out, which is weird. So there must have been so many of these wheels scraped up on curbs and destroyed over the years. I guess for, this model here, it's okay. I'm pretty sure these Konamis were pretty cheap, like $6 or less when they were brand new back in the early 2000s. Seems to be some silver in the door handle here. We got another, I don't know, is that a gas cap or a Z logo? I think it's supposed to be a Z logo, it's just not very well printed. Ooh, boy, even more paint rash under magnification. Okay. So, a little orange here on this blinker or reflector. I think it might be a reflector. Gas fuel filler door. Not even gonna bother about the interior. There's molded details, but it's so dark in there you can't see much, especially with these distorted windows. So, tail end, yeah, I mean, it looks alright. It's, well, they're actually plastic inserts, so that's pretty good. Some breakup of the red and the orange and the white. And then here it says Fairlady 240Z again. We got the double stacked exhaust tips, and they're pretty small diameter, so that's pretty good. Bumper separate piece there, separate black piece. Alright. Yeah, so it's okay. I mean, it's an old model. Obviously, the paint leaves quite a bit to be desired, but I guess for a cheap old model, I'm gonna have to live with it. So, okay, I think it's just nice for me to get a stock, road-going one on a totally slammed and modified version. So let's back out a little bit and pull out some other Z's here. I don't really love the Z too much. I think it's a cool car. I'm not in love with it, though. I don't think I would ever have a need to own one. But for some reason, they just proliferate in the 164 diecast world. So here's another one by Aoshima. This is from a different Grachan collection. I don't know which. It's possible this is actually a 280Z. I don't know, because Aoshima, they just never write what the car is. I would imagine this is a later series because it's screwed together. It's not press fit together anymore. But it's definitely wacky. This one actually is modified to have a vertical back window. And then obviously the tail is quite different. It doesn't have the giant wide fender flare, so it looks much more narrow. So this is a different Konami one. And this is 2004. It's the Z432 S30. So it just doesn't have the headlight covers, and it's got a brown steering wheel. Pretty tight panel gaps again, though. So some differences. These are, I believe, are cast wheels. There are no air holes going between the spokes, though. Okay, pretty nice tail end there, right? So I'm going to put that one over here. Got two more here. This one's from Greenlight. It's for, I believe it was the East African Safari Rally. It's pretty good for the price. The black hood kind of hides the panel gap, so it's not as bad as usual. The only real criticism on this one is the wheels are totally wrong. These are like the road racing wheels from the Datsun 510, the BRE Datsuns. So it's supposed to just have some black stamped wheels, or actually wheels like that last model there. Okay. And the very last one is one of these Dido bottle kits. So this is by Dido, and it might be actually made by Kyosho. Let's see on the bottom here. No, it just says Dido. So this is another old model, 2003, 4. And this, I believe, is also a East African Rally, or some sort of... No, my bad. It says Rally Monte Carlo on this one. So, no opening hood, so consistent panel lines. That's why I like this one. But I also like the fact that it's got, 4 of these chromed out auxiliary lamps, and the bumper literally steps down. So This one's pretty accurate to the real car. It has these wheels, which are more accurate than that green light one. Okay. So unintentionally, I seem to have 6 different 240s. Although this one's questionable. Maybe that's a 280. I think it is a 240. Just looking at the hood, it looks very similar to the car next to it, or all the other cars, really. So, wasn't my intention to get these, but I guess I'm pretty happy that I do have them. And if you're out there shopping for a 240Z, hopefully this video will help you decide which brand you want to give a try. I think actually all of them are quite nice, and none of them are really super expensive, so just hop on eBay and look them up. You know, Dido, Greenlight, Konami, Aoshima. Okay? Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and keep on driving.